Juma Ewa Homane Somra, Dr. Thomas and Abba Miankasa Madamfo. Dr. Portuica, good morning. Happy New Year to you too. Pacho, voice no ewo from kakranti peja onene so kakra mami. Na empombo kode anopay endra ebabesi anopay. We've seen a couple of a 9-page document. It is in the form of a petition. Ekuono atudin concerned Ghanaian doctors one more address with a policy directive of the government and the Ministry of Health say compulsory vaccination for all Ghanaians, especially when one COVID-19 jab public sector organizations be honoma won't me enremo enkodi ojuma. My concerns no akoye bebre. Sami Gemfi, even as we speak, no ewo court about that particular directive. But this group of persons one more edge from who concern Ghanaian doctors, no the petition ako. Mamin tio about this particular development. Na ye misa say on which basis and on which yes scientific data and research and one will be to make the claims are ebe.
It's going to work as a vaccine. There's a lot of feedback from the I can hear voice so much, but I don't know whether.
Okay, it's fine. It's just a feedback from around. I think it's from the telephone line, so that's fine.
Right. So I am saying that if we say this is a vaccine, there is some objective we want to achieve with it since it's classified as a vaccine. Vaccine is supposed to provide what we call immunity to you against a particular organism. It's supposed to be safe for a human being to be used. When you take the COVID-19 vaccine, does it provide immunity to you? Since they started using it, have we heard that somebody has gotten it and that he can never get coronavirus? No. They said that now they've changed the definition, that it will only protect you against the severity of the infection. Meanwhile, some countries are recording deaths even after the vaccination. Yes, it is true. The vaccine is said not to be 100%. I think the highest is around 94, 95%. So we have about 5% of people, you can take the vaccine and still die. But why is it that so many people are contracting the virus again? Because if you remember, in Europe, about Germany particularly, about 65% of all those who got coronavirus in December were fully vaccinated. This shows that the vaccine is not achieving the objective we want from it. And I don't blame it, because the vaccine was given an emergency license without a phase 4 study. And phase 4 study is the post-marketing surveillance study that is carried out when you start vaccinating so many people. Then you now see the real long-term side effect of it or inefficiencies of it. So let's all accept that we are currently not having a completely endorsed vaccine, but a vaccine on trial, because this is the 4th phase of the vaccine study. It is based on some of these things. Many people across the world are thinking that the vaccine is not yielding the result that we expected it to be. Besides that, there are several complications that are now arising from the vaccine. They may say there are few people, But if this was done like the normal vaccine study, I don't think WHO would have approved it. The only solace WHO has to let this thing continue being used is that it minimizes the severe form of the infection. But was that why it was manufactured? It was manufactured to give us immunity because they said it was a vaccine. They didn't say it is a drug to minimize the severe form. Because if you compare an asthmatic patient taking steroids daily, it is aimed at minimizing the severe form of asthma, but it's not a vaccine. So do we have to reclassify this drug, or we continue accepting that it's a vaccine, when it actually says people who take it can contract the virus, can spread the virus, and can die of the virus?
Okay.
This is where we analyze and we think that it is not far-fetched to say that the vaccine has failed. They must reclassify it. And this is where you accept some people refusing to take it. Because in some of the studies, young people who take the vaccine are getting heart inflammation. And heart inflammation is a serious disease. Facial palsy is a serious disease. And it has been recorded in several people. So where do we lie? When we know that the very young people, when they get COVID-19, they almost always make it. They don't pass on. Then you are injecting me a vaccine that can trigger, that has the possibility to trigger an endocarditis in me. Look, I am somebody who advocated for vaccine, and I pleaded for people to take vaccine.
Yes, that is the angle for which I was coming, because I know that many research organizations across the world, together with the World Health Organization, give approval to the vaccines that are being used as we speak this morning. Now, the big question again is that if we knew the consequences thereof, why are the doctors or concerned Ghanaian doctors now talking to us about the lack of potency of the vaccines? Then again, it brings to bear the question of the fact that Ghana as a country had doses of vaccine from other European countries, from America, from COVAX initiative, from the AU, and many others. Are we to say that all these organizations and countries have not done due diligence, therefore by giving us a vaccine that is not potent enough, and for which reason we should not allow our citizens to go through that process as the state want to require now?
You see, we imported the vaccine, and the Food and Drugs Board is the mandated body in Ghana to have accepted or rejected it. They should have known the details of the studies that underwent in the first, second, third phase. Knowing very well that there was no fourth phase. Food and Drugs knew that. That is why Food and Drugs did not give it an approval, but gave an authorization for utilization. So the whole world was working with emergency certificate because WHO did not give it a full approval.
Then it means that the leadership of this country haven't done us any good. Because if you are telling us today that the Food and Drugs Authority never gave an authorization,
no, they gave authorization, not approval.
Not approval, very well. But if that is the case, then it means that clearly the Food and Drugs Authority itself did not know the very substances and then the consequences thereof. Then again, we were told, even at the time of deployment, that if you take a jab and then you have any sort of side effect, you need to report back to the Food and Drugs Authority so that they can have ways of resolving those matters that will come after. But today we are hearing something new.
You see, the whole world was in a state of emergency. The drug was studied so fast, using new scientific models to give you a drug. The group of people they studied, they saw that it was safe. Some complications came, but they did analysis to see whether in the normal population would those complications be there, and they said yes. So everybody based on that, bought into the idea, knowing very well that the 4 phase was not done. That was why that caution was given. And the manufacturing companies are not liable to any complications. So it was left with every government to decide whether you accept it like that or you wait for the final study of the vaccine.
I see.
Before you take it. So in the midst of people dying, it has helped some people to survive. We all said, okay, let's try and save life. But now that we have seen ample evidence, we need to eat ample pie and say that yes, though the phase 4 is not conclusive, but data available suggests that the vaccine is not what we were anticipating to have.
Very well, but Doc, even with that assertion which you just made, the Food and Drugs Authority, which is the regulator, hasn't told us anything about the effect, the side effect that people received upon taking the jab. And so, how do we classify that, and how do we juxtapose the two?
You know very well, my brother, Speaker, Ghana, we are very deficient when it comes to research. How much is our researchers, our lecturers' allowance for research? I see. The country is so deficient in research.
No, but this is about human life, so that shouldn't even come in.
Chief, I'm telling you, other countries, everybody has downloaded, have a site on his cell phone to go and put his own side effects. Anybody who vaccinated has a phone. There's a portal you go and put your side effects. Do we have that in Ghana? We are talking of digitalization and digitalization. This is where we should have taken advantage to get people put in their side effects with their vaccination card numbers to show that yes, but ask them whether they are collecting it. I've seen people who have had side effects. No one comes to collect data.
No, but Doc, you agree with me. We are in this country. At the beginning of this whole exercise, the FDA gave out some numbers, of which if you are a citizen and you're having a side effect, you needed or you ought had to report the issue to the FDA. Now, my big question is that upon sampling all those information and feedback from the citizens, what has the regulator, the FDA, done about all those things? And how do we move forward moving?
I have actually asked few patients who have come to my facility.
Okay.
Whether do you know the number to report your complications? They don't know. You go to a beach and hold people, or in the entrance of a church and hold people and inject them. Ask them whether they remember the phone number they give them. The education to get these things done. Research is part of education before you conduct it.
Yes.
Educate the people to know what they are going to do before you conduct it. It's not just that injecting, call this and do this. No. We need to spend money to educate people. We are not doing it.
I see. So now, what is the major concern? But before you come to that, with your petition to the president, kindly help us to understand.
I'm not a petitioner. Sorry, I'm not a petitioner.
Okay, but you just help us understand. I know by now you might have read the petition, but before you come to that, let us understand. If the FDA did approval, okay, and not authorization, how do we classify the two? What are the differences between that?
You see, when you say you have approved this medicine, it means you know the medicine from head to toe.
Okay.
But when you give emergency authorization for utilization, it means that there's consensus that has been built, and some people must take some risk.
Notwithstanding the fact that we are dealing with human life.
Yes, that is what is done. That was what was done outside. The whole world encouraged it, and as usual, we also bought into it hook, line, sinker.
And so where lies our fate? Where do we stand as a country? Because if those manufacturing companies cannot be held accountable to the very things that we're experiencing now, where lies our fate as a country?
Our fate as a country is that we have no objection. We have to allow people either to take it knowing the side effects that are existing, or allow people not to take it if they think they can live by other means. That is why some of us think that compulsory vaccination should not be. They should allow people to take it at their own volition. And from now, government should also try to invest in research to see what we can do in future. But for now, we all keep to the safety protocols of COVID-19, that it works and it helps. We should stock our hospitals with all medications that can be used to treat and mitigate people who have gotten COVID-19. Make sure those medications are free so that people can have the treatment. And possibly do a research to see how many Ghanaians have developed immunity for COVID-19 with the undiagnosed positive COVID-19 in their body. Because we know from studies that several Ghanaians have got COVID-19, but they didn't have symptoms. Per research done by Lubuchi and the West African Center for something.
Okay.
So let's do that and see. If it is true that a lot of Ghanaians have gotten COVID already, let's see whether we develop immunity. And if we have the immunity, and those who don't want to take the vaccine, they have immunity, you leave them. But don't force people to take a vaccine. That is creating problems, causing more infection, because study says that those who are vaccinated in Europe and the rest, they spread the virus more than those who haven't even contracted it.
So you basically disagree with the government's directive. Now, how do we protect the citizenry?
Oh, the citizens of Ghana, at least with even the poor obedience of the protocols, our numbers of infection and mortality in the country has been that very, 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 very low.
It doesn't mean we were doing something right.
It means that, you see, there are a lot of scientific explanations to this. And there was a research that said that young people in Africa, developing countries, due to cross-infections of similar viruses, may have some defense against COVID-19. Nobody took it serious to study it in Ghana because there's no money.
Interesting. So you agree with your colleague doctors who have petitioned the president to do away with such a directive, especially with what the Ministry of Health has done currently, with the fact that if you haven't taken your jab, you cannot enter the Ministry of Health to transact any form of business.
How many people enter the Ministry of Health in a day?
Yes, but regardless, you don't know when some sort of transaction will find you there. So how do we deal with that? And
that's why I'm saying the ministry should allow people to take it if they want. If they don't take it, they should protect themselves, use their face masks, wash their hands well, while they approach institutions or corporate bodies to do their transactions.
Yes, but you know Ghanaians are doing...
If I have the fear...
Doc, you know Ghanaians are doing away with those protocols. And you saw it even during the festive season.
So you ensure that at least they protect themselves before they enter. Because if I have the fear that I'll get endocarditis, I'll get facial palsy from the vaccine, and I don't want to take it, and I'm coming to transact business to grow my company, you say I can't do my business.
Now, finally, before I end with you, the Ghana Medical Association has issued a statement disassociating itself from such a petition. You agree with them? Do you think they are on course by going against what their colleagues are equally saying? And they tell you again that it is baseless in terms of claim, that it does not have any sort of scientific backing with a sort of statement and reasons they have put out.
Thank you very much. Ghana Medical Association is an association of all doctors in Ghana, including those who wrote it. Some people within the Ghana Medical Association are top researchers. It's not everybody in Ghana Medical Association that can research. This document you read, the 11-page document, you can see how they cited very reliable articles. The fear of importing hook, line, sinker, everything abroad to our country is what is keeping us this way. We need to be innovative. We need to be innovative.
Okay.
If some people are rising up in Ghana against the world indoctrination, doesn't mean that they are not scientists. They are seeing sense in it. The researchers they cited are not Ghana. They are Europe, they are Japan, they are US, big countries. And those journals they are citing them from are peer-reviewed journals. And peer review means if you write it, your colleagues must look at them and say what you've written is facts, so it can be published, or else they won't publish it. So if Ghana Medical Association think that those people who have done this research, categorized and cited very good documents, are not making sense, please, I beg to differ.
Okay.
Let's get Ghana Medical Association come out with their research and tell us why we should take it vis-a-vis this.
Yes, but they tell you the issues and the reasons cited are not peculiar.
I want to see the research team of the Ghana Medical Association, to come and battle this. It's not a mere press release or something.
Yes, but they have told you that the issues and the reasons given are not peculiar to Ghana's situation, and so it cannot be substantiated.
That is why I laugh and I ask myself, the data Ghana government used and the Food and Drug Board used to allow us to use the vaccine, was it Ghana based? It was the same places, the same sources.
Very well.
So if you use a source in America to get Ghana to accept a vaccine, and the vaccine is not working well there, and I use the same source from that country to tell you that don't use it, why do you tell me it's not based from Ghana? So they should come again.
Very well.
They should tell me, Ghana Medical Association should tell me which data in Ghana did the Food and Drug Board use to give us the emergency authorization utilization. So you see, it's flawed. The argument is flawed.
Doc, thank you very much for your time. I'm grateful this morning.
It's a pleasure.
Okay. And